Hello everyone. Today I would like to tell you a short talk sequence. Number 1. The speaker asked the student to write their name at the top in the capital letter. When they got the test. Next, he started reading the direction carefully before answering the question and mocking the answers on their answer sheet and telling him if they didn't have a pencil. Finally, he said that when they were finished the test, they could return into him and go home. Number 2. First, the speaker welcomed the audience to the concert. She introduced Miss Suki, who was playing violin concerto. Next, he announced the concert that evening would be preceded by the big riff taught by Professor Robert Simon on the harpsichord of the violin. He had lectures on the violin around the world. After that, she started going to the lobby to enjoy the refreshments. And finally, he introduced their director who would introduce Miss Simon. Number 3. First, the speaker started signing in at the desk and getting a visitor pass when the visitors were entering the building. He reminded not to lose the pass because they would were at time in the building. Next, he started waiting for the escort to accompany to the destination and back to the reception desk. After that, he reminded to sign out and return the pass when leaving. Finally, he thanked the people for their cooperation. Number 4. First, the speaker gave the customer an attention that the store would be closed in 15 minutes. She started talking of the purchase to the cashier, then and using the checkout lane if they were buying 5 or more items that were paying with cash. Next, she started having the receipt ready to show the world when leaving the store. Finally, she reminded to check to make sure their item were the right size and color before paying because they didn't accept return. Number 5. First, the speaker introduced the weekend where the report was coming up after the news. Next, she said the reporter Tom Tell would interview Susan Weaver about her new book, How to Get Rich in the Stock Market. She introduced Miss Weaver is the renowned expert on investing and finance, and she wrote a weekly newspaper column, You and Your Money, that should be very informative. So, finally, she introduced Peter Cook with the news. 6. First, the speaker announced the attend the morning soccer game at National Stadium tomorrow. He started arriving early to get the a good seat because attending to the games is free. Next, he introduced a large turnout for National Day's parade in the afternoon. It could be preceded by speech by the mayor and the chief of police. After that, he said everyone was invited to enjoy the fireworks and fireworks at City Park in the evening. Finally, he announced there are three. Number 7. First, the speaker announced a few changes had been made for their conference schedule because of the schedule in conflict. Next, he explained that Professor Jameson would speak immediately. Lunch is there of before. The morning coffee would be served in the front hall there in the dinner room, and the morning workshop would begin at 10 o'clock at the presently schedule. However, the afternoon session wouldn't begin until 1:30. Finally, he introduced Miss Warner would give the opening talk. Number 8. First, the speaker, now the president, had left the day for visits to Latin America. Next, she said he would have first in a meeting in Mexico City with leaders from Colombia, Brazil, and Mexico. After that, he would go on to the meeting with heads upstairs and through an Ecuador. After a few days, a rest as Nescon Beach Resort. Finally, in addition, he would tour factory and meet with union leaders in both countries. Number 9. First, the salesman welcomed the customer to become an owner of the bread harvest 2010 bread making machine. He said the customer was sure to enjoy the luxury of having the fresh bread every day right in her home. Next, he gave how to use the machine. Simply choose the receipt from the instruction book. Example: measure your ingredient, then place them in the machine. Finally, he was confident that the customer wouldn't be able to wait for her first taste with the machine. Number 10. First, the speaker now registered the classes by phone and avoid the long lines at the station office. Next, she started calling 3322-445, pressing 1 if he was a new student and pressing 2 if he was a returning student. Entering his so-called security number, then the class number and entering his credit card number. After selecting for the class, then hanging up. Finally, he said the receipt would be received by mail within 5 days. Thanks for listening.